What's going on, family? We are back getting into some requests today, and today we again are very thankful for our good friend Dave. And today is a special day for Dave because today is Dave's birthday. So shout out to Dave. We definitely appreciate everything that Dave does and brings to the community as part of the Foxtrot family. And again, we're just very excited for him to, today on his birthday. I hope he has the most wonderful day of just enjoying being alive today. You know what I'm saying? Your birthday is the one day I always tell people. The birthday, your birthday is the one day that you get to celebrate you. So do whatever you want to do that day. If you want to do nothing and that's all you feel like doing, do that. If you want to eat strawberry cake or strawberry pie, I think Mom, I think that's what she does on her birthday, strawberry pie, something like that. Then yeah, do it. You know what I mean? Just because you celebrate your birthday however you want to celebrate it, that doesn't mean that you have to do something. You just do what you want to do on your birthday. That's the big thing, right? There's people who like, oh, I don't care about my birthday, all that kinds of shit. It's the one day that's for you. It's the one day, even if you share it with another major holiday or that kind of shit, you know what I mean? It's still your day. It's still your day. Enjoy it. It's about you. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthday to Dave. He's got to check out another Aurora song today. Through the Eyes of a Child. We're getting back into the cathedral. The cathedral already is a vibe setter. So we've been a little all over the place on stream today. So we have gotten into a little bit of literally everything on family night. So it's rare that we get into Aurora on a non-Wednesday, but we're doing it on family night, and it's been a little all over the place. So I'm ready for this kind of mood change because, again, when I know it's in the cathedral, Joan, and this church over in Norway or whatever, I've seen this before. I haven't seen this song, but I've seen this concert, and I know what the vibes are. Let's get into them. Let's get into them. Again, happy birthday to our good friend Dave.
The world is covered by our trails, and scars we cover up with paint.
I'm sorry, guys. I know we just started, but again, I have to call it out. I've said it before in a reaction, but I'm gonna call it again. This hairstyle right here, my favorite of hers. My favorite. When she brings this back, I'm gonna get stoked.
Watch them preaching sour lies. I would rather see the world through the eyes of a child. Through the eyes of a child. Darker times will come and go.
You know, I asked before we started this reaction if I've done this song before, and I don't know if I've just heard enough snippets of this, but I'm like, there's so much of this that it's already sounding familiar to me. So I'm like, I might have heard this song. So if I can't remember it, guys, I'm sorry. But it's the other thing too that's making me laugh in the moment is the fact that, like, we did a little double reaction for our good friend Dave today since it's his birthday. So we went like one song to another, and it's not about the other song, but we went from like Johnny getting like angry and pissed off vibes to like now Johnny's about to cry. Like total shift in emotion, like so fast where I was like, oh my god, just the meaning of this song in particular, I'm just like, oh boy, it's tugging on the heartstrings.
Come and go. Times you need to see her smile, and mother's hands are warm and mild. I would rather feel the world through the skin of a child, through the skin of a child.
Again, this song, I'm gonna have to talk to keep myself from crying on this one. So I was just having this conversation with somebody the other day where you never until you get older, you never understood why when you were 15, 16, 17, when you were knocking on the door of being an adult, when you were so ready to be an adult, right? Why everybody told you these are the best times of your life. These are the best times of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like you're all like, what the fuck are you talking about? We all felt the same fucking way. We were all like, why the fuck would this be the best times of our life, right? But then you get older and you become an adult, and then you realize how much being a kid is pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean? Being an adult is never what it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? The more you learn about the world and the more you learn how fucked up it is, the more harder it is to go through every day. You know what I mean? And you don't recognize all that when you're 15 and 16. You haven't seen it like that yet. A lot of people have. A lot of people already have seen a lot of the world already. But again, as much as you might have already have been exposed to at that point in time, it's still not quite the same as when you're like a full-blown adult. You know what I mean? And like, there's just a difference. There's a difference that you just don't ever understand. And again, I think about this so much where it's just like, man, those really were kind of some of the best times of your life, even though I had been through some hard times already in my life, as you know, in my younger parts of my life. For all that shit, it still was better than what adulthood brought me. You know what I mean? Not to say that, you know, we're supposed to stay kids forever or whatever, but the naivety that we have when we're younger that way, and we think that we know so much, and we think that we have seen and experienced all these things, but we haven't really yet. And like, you know, that's what I said. This song just makes me think so much about how like life was simpler when your world was smaller and you understood the world less. Life was happier. You know what I mean? It's almost kind of like the curse of like knowledge is power, but knowledge is also like the more you know, the more you really know. And a lot of times people don't really know as much as they think that they do. You know what I'm saying? Again, if we could just really look, if we could just go back and look at the world through the eyes of a child, even as adults, or even just trying to like have the perspective of thinking about the world from that way, and how everything is a little bit more like just direct and cut and blunt, and things just don't make as much sense to kids because a lot of times you have to get taught how to feel certain things. I think about that all the time when it comes to like just the idea of like racial divide. You know what I mean? Or the divide amongst one's sexuality. Kids don't have any of that shit. Kids don't care about any of that shit. Even they're more interested in things that look different than them than they are things that look similar. You know what I mean? I think that's why little kids find me so fascinating, because I don't look like any of their dads. You know, none of their dads got long hair. You know what I'm saying? Those little babies in the carts at the Costco, they'd be like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? I'm like a fish out of water to them. You know what I mean? Because they're like, this doesn't look like dad material. This is a man with long hair. And he's got some cool band shirt on. I don't know what the band is, but it's probably pretty cool. That's what they're thinking a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? But again, I thought about that in terms of like just like, you know, just like the young ones in my world, right? When I've like seen them grow up and I see them interact with the world. Like no one is taught to hate other races of people. But naturally, you know, I'm sorry. No one naturally hates other races of people. You were taught that. No one hates other people that have like, you know, different sexual orientation or gender identity, that until you're taught to hate that. And, you know, you're not born hating people different than you. You have to like learn and experience that. And that is some of the innocence and the naivety of a children, right? Where it's like when you're all at the playground, they don't give a fuck. They really don't. Why do we care so much as adults? When we're the ones who were always taught to like mind our own fucking business and just like, if it doesn't affect you, then shut the fuck up about it. But we're so outspoken today about things that don't even fucking affect us. All right. Dave had a 1-2 punch today with these reactions, man. This happy birthday to Dave. You know what I mean? You got Johnny talking today. I'm over here screaming and shouting. We're going right back to the sober mood. You know what I mean? Right back to sober Aurora.
When a human strokes your skin, that is when you let them in. Let them in before they go. I would rather be alive with a childlike soul, with a childlike soul. Don't you, please don't leave me here.
There was a part in the song where her eyes are so glossy and watery that I totally thought that she was like tearful. You know what I mean? Another amazing performance of this. Again, I've been a huge fan of these videos from this particular concert that she did or show in this old church there. Again, just to be, I think when every time I watch anything that she does, I always think about it from the perspective of like, what would it be like to be in the room when it's happening, when the same thing with the Out in the Forest, where like the vibe itself, like the feelings and the emotions that you're going to get being there and seeing it and witnessing it for yourself. So it's one of those things where I say it every video, and it's what I feel every video, where like, especially with this one, this particular one, and the one where they were out there in the forest, where I was like, my God, it's such a fucking different vibe, where it's just like the the music's going to hit you different. You know what I mean? Like even just like watching this from a distance from a video that took place 7 years ago, like in this one particularly, right? Where like you could still feel so much emotion. I can only imagine what it was like to be in that audience. All the different like the extra backup vocalists throughout this entire thing, the harmonizing, all of that I thought was really, really great. Again, like all that kinds of stuff is always typically on a very high scale and a high level with Aurora. Again, very sad, beautiful, pretty song that just, you know, makes you think about things, right? Where again, like I said, for me, it's all on the name, through the eyes of a child. Like where I think a lot of times we as adults, I think about this a lot, where we as adults forget what it's like to think like a kid. You know what I mean? And all of those different ages. And the older that we get, the more we forget about that. Because a lot of us were trying to run away from childhood, right? So we never think about like our perspectives of like when we were 10, when we were 7, when we were 13. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't think that we think about that stuff probably as much as we should, because you're going to understand more your thought process and then also your thought process as an adult now. So you take that kind of thinking and you apply that to the next kid. I feel like you have that much more understanding for the youth that way, where it's everybody wants to feel related to, and they're just trying to figure shit out. You know what I mean? And so if you could put yourself a little bit more in the minds of a child, I think it's that much easier to make that kind of connection with them in terms of like, you know, getting through to them when you talk to them. If that makes any sense? I don't know. This has only worked like for some of the young gods and the young ladies in my world. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm like I know the way. You know what I mean either. But just I think it's important for us to try to have perspective, and I think that's part of like self-reflection, right? It's like even when you think about it as an adult perspective of like who I am today and who I am 5 years ago should be two different people. They should be. You should have better perspective today than you did 5 years ago. And if you're not, what are we doing here? If we're not growing and we're not trying to be better than we were yesterday, what the fuck is the point? You know what I mean? I like this song quite a bit. I don't remember if this is my first time hearing it or not. Like I said, I feel like I might have heard this before, but it's given me all kinds of different thoughts and feelings and emotions today, listening to it today. So, I mean, I guess that's the point, right? I think that's all I got for this one, guys. Definitely want to appreciate Dave again for the request today. Definitely want to say happy birthday again to them. I hope you have a wonderful day, my friend. I hope you enjoy everything about today. And I hope you do exactly what you want to do today. You know what I mean? And I think that's all I got. Be kind to a stranger. Tell somebody that you love them. And if you haven't joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room for you.